Hi. I have a sort of problem where I'll just be honest, I'm a 29-year-old virgin, and I have a lot of difficulty struggling with sexual desire, especially if I see a pretty girl when I'm downtown or something like that. And I find that at times, sometimes I can maybe deal with that and other desires, like, having money and such. But, sometimes, like I said, when you see a pretty girl, it's just your spiritual quest just goes out the window. And so...
Yes, I know what you mean. I had a friend, before you carry on, many years ago at university, when I was already, for some people already, I was a graduate student shortly after my shift. And this person just asked a very deep question to do with the meaning of life, the spirituality. We were sitting in the cafeteria, and I could feel an answer coming through. And I was looking into his eyes, and suddenly I could see his eyes were going this way. And I just couldn't get him, his gaze was somewhere else. And finally I turned around, and there was a very pretty girl sitting behind me. So that became more important than the meaning of life in that moment. So the question is, what do I do?
Yeah, it's also sort of because it seems like the desire is so strong, maybe because it's a biological thing. I mean, there's probably strong evidence for that theory, but it seems like, maybe at times it feels like maybe I should pursue a life of hedonism for 10 years and then worry about the power of now.
Yes. Wasn't there somebody who said something similar? Was it Saint Augustus or Saint Augustus? What did he say? Make me saint, but not yet. What? Chastity. Give me chastity, but not yet. Now, without wanting to start a therapy session with you, what is it that prevents you from having contact with female form?
Just say a string of bad luck, and probably this mustache I have. I would also, in a bit more seriousness, probably say I have a sort of a fear of commitment because, I kind of want the sexual gratification without having to engage in a painful relationship. I think that, after looking at, the experience of a lot of my friends, I can see a lot of misery at times. I just think, I'd be like to have one without the other, and I've kind of thought that it's probably more noble. My conscience kind of beats me up if I can see that I'm headed in a relationship with a girl that I don't really want to be in a relationship with, so I kind of put on the brakes preemptively.
Well, that you have created a little trap then for yourself.
Yeah. My greatest desire is just to have like the happiness you describe where you're sleeping on park benches, with probably a big smile on your face. But like I said, the biological urge to, when I see a pretty girl, I just can't seem to, I don't know. It just makes, I don't know, it's very distracting. That's all I can really say about it. I guess what I'm wondering is if it's possible to still not lose that, intense state of happiness and see a girl walk by and just, it doesn't matter if you never see her again kind of thing.
Yes, there is something called Tantra, which is sometimes misinterpreted as meaning lots of exciting sexual practices, but really Tantra is bringing awareness into an almost overpowering force that is biologically built into the human body and which would normally draws you into complete unconsciousness because of its enormous power. It's how the form, the humans in their physical form, how they survive as a human form. So that biologically this enormous pull is in there. It's also the pull because every human is drawn to the other polarity, but even in same-sex relationships that to some extent applies, you're drawn to the other polarity in order to find wholeness. So there's the deep pull. It's not just sexual, there's also a pull on the level of form, of wanting to merge with the opposite polarity. The paradox is that as you merge with the opposite polarity, you create and temporarily become one in the act of orgasm. You create duality again, because a baby comes as a result of that. So that's the paradox of human existence. But my recommendation is to you not to dwell excessively in thought-making about commitment or non-commitment, but if you feel drawn towards a female being, and you may be able to not just drawn on the sexual level, you may sometimes also find that in addition to the sexual attraction, there's something else also that draws you to. I don't know whether you've ever felt that, although the sexual may be foremost, the first thing that you feel, but if you have some contact with a woman, you may sometimes find that there is something deeper also at work, and then have the courage to embark on a relationship. And if all the fear that you have are thought forms. Well, I'm not ready for commitment. That's a thought. Well, is it going to last? It might end in the same way that my friends' relationships end. That's another thought form. So if you are excessively listening to what your thoughts are saying, why you should not, you will never really go through any learning situation. Celibacy is for very few, and it's probably not for you. You will learn and evolve more quickly if you have the courage to embark on a relationship. And if it doesn't work, then you're both learning something. So see if you can sustain your presence throughout the relationship. See if you can even if the relationship only lasts a week or two, at least it's the beginning. You don't start a relationship you don't have the intention to deceive, only if there's you feel not only a sexual pull, but you feel also some human connection at a deeper, and that you just have to give yourself enough time to be with a woman for at least a few hours and talk and then see how it evolves. You will learn more quickly through that than through having some idea in your head about celibacy, and in the meantime have all kinds of fantasies that are not celibate, that would not be helpful. Mm-hmm. So just take the jump instead of thinking, well, if I jump, what's down there? I might land there, and that might hurt, or that might happen, or am I going to land on my feet or my bum? Or no, you take the jump. Otherwise, you stand at the edge for the rest of your life. The jump into life. into fully experiencing life as the physical form. You have the advantage, as you're being drawn to this teaching, that there is a presence in you already, which is not the case perhaps with most of the people you know. And that presence then may initially be obscured by the sexual desires or feelings, but you will realize that there is the opportunity of bringing awareness also into sexuality, which is Tantra. So it doesn't mean that the first thing you demand of a woman is to have sex. Give it some time and
Don't want to end up in jail or anything.
So otherwise you live in a mental trap for the rest of your life. Perhaps we'll meet again in a year's time and you can report back on your adventures.
Sounds like a deal. Thank you very much.